The mountain blew up at exactly 1:39 in the morning. For 19 seconds, the Zagros mountain range became like a scene from hell. 41 powerful explosives went off one after another in a planned order, tearing through super strong concrete and solid rock like they were paper. Missile fuel caught fire in huge fireballs that burst through 200 feet of mountain rock. Missile warheads exploded in chain reactions that could be seen from 95 kilometers away. The explosion wave broke windows in villages 12 miles away, and 200 American soldiers already 9 kilometers away in loud Chinook helicopters watched Iran's most secret weapon disappear into a rolling firestorm that made the night sky glow like a second sun. 17 minutes before this, Iranian guards had been drinking tea at their guard posts, having no idea that the biggest SEAL Team 6 attack group ever put together was already inside their fortress that couldn't be broken into, connecting wires to every launcher to blow them up. This is what happened during those 17 minutes, and why the Middle East would never be the same again. The MQ-9 Reaper drone had been flying in circles at 25,000 feet for 8 hours straight. Its special camera stayed locked on a mountain base carved into Iran's Zagros Mountains. At 11:34 at night, the video sent to the USS Gerald R. Ford's control room showed what weeks of spying had told them. Iranian Revolutionary Guard soldiers keeping their normal work schedules, having no clue that 200 members of the Navy's Special Fighting Team were getting ready to destroy their base completely. Sitting 85 ocean miles out in the Persian Gulf's dark waters, the huge aircraft carrier's deck was busy as ground workers did final checks on 4 CH-47 Chinook heavy-lift helicopters and 6 H-64 Apache attack helicopters, their engines warming up in the salty air. The target was one of Iran's most carefully protected military secrets, an underground ballistic missile base located 9,200 feet above sea level, buried 147 kilometers inside Iranian land. American spy satellites had watched it being built for 7 months, recording Iranian engineers as they dug out 14 reinforced missile storage holes directly into solid rock. Intelligence confirmed each hole held Fateh, 313 ballistic missiles that could hit American carrier ships. Iranian forces had placed about 165 top soldiers throughout the base, setting up defensive spots that regular military thinking said were nearly impossible to break through. At 11:41 at night, the operations leader received secret permission from Central Command. The mission, called Phantom Glacier, got final approval with a very tight schedule. Helicopter takeoff at midnight, landing at target at 12:47 in the morning. Attack start at 1:15 in the morning, leaving no later than 2:30 in the morning. The window was very tight because Iranian backup forces at 4 nearby bases could send help within 75 minutes. Success needed speed, overwhelming force, and perfect teamwork. Right at midnight, all 10 aircraft lifted off from the Ford's flight deck, their blades creating huge wind as they turned east. The group stayed very low to the ground. The heavy Chinooks flew barely 60 feet above the water to stay hidden from Iranian radar. Inside each helicopter, SEALs sat in quiet discipline, weapons held between their knees, minds going through attack steps practiced many times. At the same time, 5 Reaper drones launched from a secret base and began flying in circles above the target area, giving non-stop watching, strong electronic blocking against Iranian communications, and real-time intelligence sharing. At 12:23 in the morning, the main Reaper's heat-sensing cameras found an Iranian patrol walking along the base's southeastern edge, positions matching what they predicted. The drone operator, 7,400 miles away in Nevada, marked each spot and sent tactical information to the approaching group. The attack team entered Iranian airspace at 12:36 in the morning, staying dangerously low through narrow mountain valleys. GPS navigation updated constantly, adjusting for wind and height changes. Pilots flew using 4th-generation night vision, turning midnight land into a green-lit landscape. At 12:44 in the morning, they reached the landing area, a flat area 3.8 kilometers from the target. 200 SEALs slid down ropes onto Iranian ground in 12 seconds as the Chinooks immediately disappeared into darkness. Total time visible, 15 seconds. The helicopters moved to waiting areas 35 kilometers away, while Apache attack helicopters climbed to attack spots 8 kilometers out, weapons ready. The attack force quickly organized into 4 groups and started moving forward using night vision goggles that turned darkness into a helpful advantage. At 1:09 in the morning, overhead cameras show the Iranian base doing normal work. Guards walked expected paths. Lights were on in the command building. Workers were inside missile caves, their heat showing up bright against cold rock. The defenders had no sign that 200 soldiers were getting closer through the surrounding darkness. Alpha Squadron set up watching positions at 1:28 in the morning, taking spot 750 meters northwest. SEAL sharpshooters with State Route 25 rifles and heat sensing scopes could shoot at almost every defensive position. Bravo Squadron moved within 250 meters of the command bunker, using low ground Iranian planning had missed. Charlie Squadron, 68 soldiers strong, got close to the western entrance tunnel, giving direct entry to the missile base. Delta Squadron, 32 specialists, snuck toward communication towers and backup power systems. At 1:14 in the morning, the mission commander turned on encrypted radio. All groups, get ready to go. Star on my command. On the Ford, radar workers watched screens carefully. The carrier's Aegis system tracked Iranian air defense signals across 250 miles. If things went wrong, the strike group included 3 destroyers carrying 288 Tomahawk missiles ready to launch. At 1:15 in the morning, exactly, execute, execute, execute. The Reaper group immediately started wide-range blocking across all Iranian military radio channels. Throughout the base, radios filled with white noise. Phones went dead. Networks lost connection. The base found itself completely cut off, separated from help, unaware of the disaster coming. Alpha Squadron sharpshooters shot first. At 1:16 in the morning, 8 quiet shots cracked across the mountainside. Sound barely heard. 8 Iranian guards fell at the same time, taken out before sending warnings. The outer defensive ring disappeared, people inside not knowing. Bravo Squadron attacked the command bunker at 1:17 in the morning. A 6-person breaking team placed a precise explosive against the reinforced entrance designed to destroy the door without alerting the wider base. At 1:18 in the morning, the explosive went off with a sharp crack. SEALs poured through before pieces stopped falling. What happened inside lasted 34 seconds. Quiet -18 Malawian Quaches, rifles fired in planned pairs, taking out command staff before they could reach weapons. The base's leadership was eliminated in half a minute. Iranian forces now work without leadership, unable to coordinate or ask for backup. Charlie Squadron had already gotten inside the mountain. At 1:17 in the morning, for SEALs climbed down 52 meters through an air shaft, coming out where 6 Iranian workers were doing maintenance. They turned in confusion as armed soldiers appeared from darkness, quickly controlled before understanding the situation. At 1:20 in the morning, the base finally knew they were under attack. Soldiers rushed from sleeping quarters, grabbing weapons, asking for orders that would never come. They moved toward gunfire directly into Alpha Squadron's killing zone. The sharpshooters worked with precise skill. Heat sensing scopes found targets through darkness. Silencers hit flash and sound. Iranian soldiers fell in groups, hit by bullets from positions they couldn't find. Inside the base, Charlie Squadron worked with urgent discipline. Bomb experts placed shaped explosives on every launcher, every moving part, every fire control system. These carefully designed bombs would destroy specific parts while causing maximum collapse. Each explosive connected to a main trigger network. At 1:26 in the morning, overhead cameras found Iranians trying to fight back near the barracks. The mission commander turned on the radio. "Ford, this is Sabre Actual. Request immediate firing. Grid Papa Lima 6-3-5-9. Soldiers in open area 85 miles offshore." A destroyer's computer figured out the answer in 0.9 seconds. At 1:28 in the morning, a 5-inch gun roared, shooting a GPS-guided shell. The shell hit at 1:28 in the morning, exploding within the Iranian group. The explosion scattered people across the mountainside. The counterattack fell apart. Navy gunfire had reached 147 kilometers inland to destroy the base's final defense. At 1:29 in the morning, the bomb expert sent a message. Explosives placed. 41 ready. All armed. Every launcher. Every control system rigged for destruction. Timeline showed 14 minutes passed. Delta Squadron had completed backup goals. Communication tower in pieces. Backup generators broken. The base was being taken apart piece by piece with surgical precision. Leaving started at 1:30 in the morning. SEALs pulled back in coordinated movements, each group covering others. Apache attack helicopters spotted Iranian backup forces coming. At 1:32 in the morning, Hellfire missiles hit the convoy. Vehicles burst into flames, blocking the road. At 1:34 in the morning, all groups came together at the pickup area. The commander pressed a radio. Anvil flight. Execute pickup. Package complete. Landing zone secure. 3 kilometers away, all 10 aircraft sped toward the flat area. At 1:37 in the morning, helicopters came down and 200 SEALs loaded on board. In 18 seconds, the group lifted off, turning west toward the coast, toward the ford, waiting in darkness. At 1:39 in the morning, 9 kilometers from target, the bomb expert armed the firing device and started the sequence. The mountain erupted. 41 explosives went off one after another, tearing into missile systems with perfect precision. First blasts ripped through launcher parts. Fuel tanks broke open, releasing thousands of gallons of fuel that caught fire in huge secondary explosions. The fireball grew outward and upward, burning everything. Then the warhead started exploding. Each Fade 313 carried a 650-kilogram warhead. As temperatures reached dangerous levels, these exploded quickly one after another, creating chain reactions that turned the base into a firestorm. The blast punched through 200 feet of solid rock, throwing pieces hundreds of meters into the sky. The earthquake wave showed up on watching stations 800 kilometers away. Windows broke in villages 12 miles away. Iranian civilians stumbled from homes, staring at the huge fireball, lighting up the mountains like daylight. At 2:08 in the morning, the attack team left Iranian airspace. At 2:31 in the morning, they landed on the ford. Tired SEALs got off, weapons still warm. Medical workers treated 5 wounded soldiers. All injuries minor. The commander sent message to Central Command. Phantom Glacier complete. All goals achieved. All people accounted for. Total time, 2 hours, 31 minutes. American losses, 5 wounded, 0 deaths. Iranian losses, 127 taken out. All 14 launchers destroyed beyond repair. But numbers only told part of the story. In the hours after the operation, big consequences spread through the region with the force of the explosions themselves. Iranian military leadership faced a crisis, explaining how their most protected base had been broken into and destroyed with such crushing efficiency. The operation showed perfect American teamwork. Carrier planes, heavy-lift helicopters, attack helicopters, unmanned drones, Navy fire support, and special operations forces. It proved American military power could reach any target no matter how fortified or isolated and destroy it with precision. Allied governments across the Gulf watched that American security promises were backed by real ability. Saudi Arabia, UAE, and regional partners quietly increased military cooperation, recognizing partnership offered the most reliable security. Enemy nations drew equally important conclusions. Russian experts recognized their bases faced similar weaknesses. Chinese planners noted implications for South China Sea fortifications. North Korean leadership saw even underground bases offered no safe place. For Iran, the operation forced basic rethinking. Their most protected weapons had proven vulnerable. Defensive thinking was outdated. No base, no matter how remote or fortified, could be considered safe. The mental impact went beyond military thinking. The operation happened 147 kilometers inside Iranian land, in mountainous area chosen for defensive advantages. Yet, American forces broke in, completed their mission with perfect efficiency, and left without losses. The 14 launchers that disappeared meant more than destroyed missiles. They symbolized basic change of regional power balance that would influence geopolitical thinking for years to come. The operation showed American military dominance rested not just on better technology, but on combining multiple abilities into perfect execution, achieving big goals with minimal risk and maximum effect. As Iranian engineers looked at smoking ruins, as regional powers recalculated positions, as allies gained new confidence, one truth became undeniable. The balance had shifted. The operation proved that in a time of precision weapons and elite forces, no target lay beyond reach, no safe place remained untouchable, and military power belonged to nations capable of projecting force with surgical precision across any distance through any defense at any time deemed necessary.